Hey there, thank you for joining me today. My name is Henry, and on this video I would like to show you how to move your WordPress website from your web host to your local web server. I will be using WAMP as my local web server. Say you want to make a backup of your website, which is always good practice. You want to do some testing, test some code, or test moving things around. You don't want to do it on your live website. It doesn't look very professional if you have visitors and you're making changes. And or if you want to just troubleshoot things that are not working, or do further development of the website, you should always try to do it locally before you place the website on your live account or on your live host. So it just happens that I need to make some changes to this website, and I decided to record this video to show you the process of doing that. I will not be using any plugin to do this. I will do it completely manually. I will be using a tool to change my URLs from this URL here, musiczen.org, to my local URL when using WAMP, and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, well, let's get started. The first thing you'll need to do is disable permalinks. And for that, we're going to head over to the admin panel for your website and just go to Settings, Permalinks. Then go ahead and select Default and go ahead and save that. Okay, the next thing we'll need to do is export your database. For that, just go ahead and head over to your cPanel, go to phpMyAdmin, select your database. Oh, where are you? It should be this one right here. Okay, so for that, just go ahead and select your database and select all the tables here. Actually, you don't need to do that if you select the database here. That would select all the tables. For the export, we are going to select custom. All the tables are selected, and we want to save it to a file. You can just leave the name as default here. Hit go. That is going to download your database, and you should see the download process right here. We're going to save that. Just go ahead and save your database somewhere where you can find it. I'm just going to create a folder here. And just drop the database right there. Okay, after you exported your database, then you want to go ahead and turn on permalinks again on your live website. You don't want to leave that off because you might have URLs pointing to your website, so you don't want to do this for too long, since if your website has been up for a long time, then a lot of URLs have already been created with this with your permalinks settings, and you just want to go ahead and do this very quickly. After you export your website, you want to go ahead and switch it back to what you had it, and go ahead and save changes. Okay, after you have turn your permalinks on again, we are going to install WordPress on. Alright, we're going to install WordPress on your local computer, and for that I am using MAMP Pro. You can use MAMP Basic or WAMP if you're using Windows. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and install WordPress on my computer, and for that I am using this folder here on my local machine, and I'm just going to go ahead and create a folder. And if you need help installing WordPress locally, I also have a tutorial on my website, which I'll have links to here in this video. on how to install WordPress locally. Very simple to do as well. So I created a folder and I am going to drop WordPress in there. So we need to go to wordpress.org to download WordPress. Once you download it, go ahead and unzip it. I'm actually going to move it from there to this folder here, and then double click to unzip it. And what we're going to do is, once you unzip it, you're going to get all the files here. And these are the files that we need. So just go ahead and grab all the files and place them in your folder. And then we can go ahead and delete. You can go ahead and delete those files. So now we have WordPress installed on our local machine. All right, so we can just test real quick, make sure that WordPress is there. I'm just going to show you. So for here, since I'm using Map Pro, I'm going to go ahead and create a new site here, and I'm going to call it Music Zen. And I'm just going to point the site to the folder I just created. And what this allows you to do is just create an alias to that folder, and that way I can navigate to it by using the name of the folder rather than by using localhost and navigating through it that way. Or if you're using WAMP, it would be localhost / the name of the folder if you're using Windows. All right, so now go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and do these steps. If you're using Map Pro, this is what you will do. And hit save. And Map Pro is going to ask you to restart the server. And once you do that, you can go ahead and open this here. Open the website, click on this arrow here, and that should open up to your installation of WordPress. And here it is. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to download the WP content folder from our website. So for that, just go ahead and connect to your website via FTP. I am using Yummy FTP here as my client, and I've connected to my website, or to my host I should say, and to my website folder, and I am going to go to the WP content folder. So you want to download this folder over to the folder on your local machine which you have created, and in this case here I called it the same, Music Zen. So I'm just going to rename this folder here to something else, and I'm just going to call it old_WP content, and then I'm just going to go ahead and move the one on my website, on my live website, to the local website here. And that might take a few minutes depending on how much content you have on that folder. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to move the WP config file on my website over to my local folder as well. So that's basically the two items that you'll need to transfer your website in terms of copying files. Those are the two that you'll need: the WP-config folder, I'm sorry, the WP-config.php file, and the WP-content folder. So we're gonna let that copy there, and in the meantime we'll go ahead and create a database. So we'll need to create a database on the local machine, and for that we'll go ahead and use phpMyAdmin. And if you're using ManPro, to access phpMyAdmin, you just visit their localhost web page here, which will take you to the home screen. And you can go under Tools and go to phpMyAdmin. This would allow you to manage your local databases. So we're going to create a new database and just give it a name. Hit create. All right, and then you can now go ahead and create a user for the database and assign the user. If you already have a user here that you have created, like the root or another user, you can go ahead and use those. I will be using a user that I use for all my local databases, and that's good enough for me. And that's this user right here. So the next step will be to import the database that we downloaded from our website to this local database here. So we're going to go ahead and choose the file and navigate to our database, which is right over here. And this will go ahead and upload our live database to our local database. And what we'll need to do is replace all the URLs on this database to match our local URL. And for that, we're going to use a tool, a great tool that will do this for us. So this might take a little while for the database to load, and there we go. All right, so it has completed, and as you can see, it has imported all the queries. And if you got this little green bar over here saying that the import has been successful, then you're golden. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to use a tool by a company called Interconnect IT, and this tool is fantastic. This tool basically just go ahead and does a search and a replace for all the URLs on your database that you need to replace. So it searches arrays and any objects in the database that has serialized data, and it will replace the URL from your database to whatever you want it to be. In this case would be our local URL. And this is a great tool, this great time saver. So, and it's completely free. So you can go ahead and download it here. Just go to interconnectedit.com. Go ahead and select the this post here. You can also find it on their products, and it's called Search Replace DB. So just click on that, and there's a download button right here. And this is very simple to use. You basically just unzip the folder here and place anything that's underneath that folder into another folder. That's a little redundant, but you can use the same folder, Search Replace DB Master. But what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to it from our local host, and I just don't want to type the whole thing here. So I just basically created a folder called FAR for Find and Replace, and I just copied everything from here over here. and basically it's the same thing as placing the folder here. So just go ahead and do that, and we're going to navigate to this folder here, and I'll show you how this tool works, which is fantastic. So once you navigate to it, you're going to see this right here, this interface. Very simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace any strings that matches this URL here. And you want to replace it with this string here. Which is the one we're going to use for our local host. All right, now we got this error here, which says connection refused, and basically that means that we haven't connected to our database yet. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to enter our database name here, our local database name. The username and the password, and here we're going to write localhost. For the port, go ahead and leave it as default here, and then you want to hit on update details, and as you can see, that made that error disappear. That means that the tool here, the search and replace tool, was able to connect to your local database, and you should be able to proceed. So we're going to go ahead and perform a dry run, and basically what this does is it emulates the live run, and it allows you to check which strings are going to be replaced, or how many times the tool finds this string in your database. That would allow you to see, how many times it will be replaced and so forth, and which tables will be affected. So go ahead and hit dry run, and as you can see here, we got a report that tells us which rows are affected, the changes that will be made, and the updates will be here once we hit on the live run, and it even tells you how many seconds it took for that to run. So go ahead now and hit live run, and go ahead and click OK on the Chrome error here if you're using Chrome. So that's going to go ahead and do the changes. Might take a few seconds. And there you go. It's completed, and it tells you here what it did and how many updates were done. As you can see, to perform all the updates here. And if you take a look, for instance, here, you'll see the affected columns and the value, and it tells us that everything looks good. Go ahead and found all the information, and it replaced it, all the URLs that we needed. And now what we're going to do, we're going to head back to our installation, and we're going to modify the wp config file. So go ahead and open your wp config file, and what you want to do here is you want to change the database and the username and the password to match your local account information. So let's go ahead and do that. That's the local database name, and the username will be HSNYC. The password, it's a pretty short password, and then the host is going to remain localhost. The salts in here, you can leave that as is, and the table prefix should be the same since we imported our live database. So I'll go ahead and save that. And now we can go over to our site and test. All right. So now we'll go ahead and click on the site to open it. And we should be able to see the site. There it is. All right. Well, that's all there is to it. We can go ahead and take a look. At all the pages. And as you can see, everything is working fine. This is a local copy of your website. So now you can go ahead and develop your site further, or just test features or modifications that you need to do, and before you implement them on your live website, or just to have as a backup. That's always good to have. So we can go ahead now and log into the admin panel. All right, so you can go ahead and change the permalink settings back. Of course, you do not have to do that since you're working locally, and it's good to have them turn them off before you move them back to the live website. Now, this process works also in reverse, so you can go ahead and, if you like to move a website over to a live host, it's just basically the same steps, but in the reverse direction. So maybe I'll do another video where I can show you the process to transfer from a local account to a live account, but hopefully this has helped, and you can go ahead and save some time. As you can see, we use no plugins. We just use this wonderful tool, but interconnected, and our website is completely transferred to the local host. If you have any questions or have any comments or any feedback, please leave a comment. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see some of my future videos that go through my experience with WordPress and my daily projects. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.